The year was 2001. The Game Boy Advance just released for the retail price of $99.99. That's a retail value of about $170 in 2023. Do I remember this? No. I was 1 year old. I would remember this. Look, Kirby's so cute. But back in 2019, I made my way into my local Savers, and I came out with a Game Boy Advance and an original DS for the low price of $2. You would not be able to get that today. Oh my god. Obviously they weren't working, but that's what this video is about. I'm going to be fixing the Game Boy Advance. You might be asking, what about the DS? Well, it had a cracked case, so I just sold it for $10 to make a quick profit. And this helped buy the parts that I needed for the Game Boy Advance, which were new battery terminals and a new back cover. And I was hoping that was going to be it. So here's the Game Boy Advance. It's honestly in really good shape. It just needs some cleaning and some new parts. Along with this, I also got this new screwdriver set, which I am in love with, and I hope to use it in the future to repair more handheld consoles. But first, we have to remove the back off, which is just a bunch of screws, which I'll take off.
So now, the back looks good. Just need to clean up the rust that is by the ports. Then we need to get this side out as well. The board itself looks good, except for the one rusted part. You take out all of the extra pieces now, including the bumpers. There you go, so now we need to take the motherboard out. I'm gonna do that after we get this out, however.
For some reason, I thought I can get out with my fingers, but there was a slot on the back, so I thought, why not try that? This put up the biggest fight out of anything in this console. I spent so long trying to get it out. I wedged it from the back, and then pulled it from the front, and then it didn't work, so I pulled it from the front with the screwdriver, and honestly, I was just really happy that eventually I got it out. Thank God.
That took longer than I thought. Jesus. Alright, so this is the other terminal side. Has a little bit of rust. Hopefully we can clean that up. If not, I don't have a replacement for this one, so that'll be an Okay, so we're there. Put that back over there. Alright. So next we have to get the motherboard off, which is 2 Phillips head screws. Can also take out the switch. Alright, so the last thing we need to do before we take off the motherboard is that this cable goes to the screen. So we need to pop this off, which are these 2 switches right here.
If you are trying to do this, be very careful. These clips are very fragile, and they can break if you put too much pressure on them.
2 switch. We should just be able to pull that out. And there we go. And then, voila. Front side looks really well, except for the dirty speaker. I will have to clean that one out. Besides for that, does look good. I think on the back I saw some flux build up, like over here. It could be used as some tiny little cleaning by the button. But yeah. So now you can take out all these buttons and this rubber. Honestly, it doesn't look that dirty at all. This one looks a little dirtier. We'll clean that out. That one looks fine. I could pluck these out or just dump them. Those are the buttons. So I will have to polish the screen.
Spoiler alert, I don't polish the screen.
As well as there seems to be some sort of Play-Doh in the speaker. I'll have to remove that. Other than that, I will not be removing the screen unless when I power it on, it does appear to be broken. So, yeah. Wheel seems to be all fine. The switches do get dirty, so I may have to clean that out. Other than that, the main problem seems to be this terminal. I did get a replacement set, so I will be able to replace that one. I do not believe I'll have to replace this one, but I might go around and do it after I clean it if it does still appear to be in a bad state. Should forget, I do need to take this off. I do want to at least wash the back of the case. I will not be washing the front fully because I do not want to take out the screen because that seems like a lot of work. So this is just 2 screws, 1, 2. And this is the guard for the game cartridges that go in, which I do only have 1 cartridge to test play, so it should be working. There we go. It does look pretty clean. A little bit of rust, but that could be cleaned off perfectly fine. So now this plate is all completely disassembled. Little piece of plastic was broken over here. Just broke it off. There's no repairing that, whatever. So, whoopsie. There will be a little crack there.
Now that it's disassembled, we can repair it.
Well, I just realized that I have no helping hands or anything, so... I'm just gonna end up doing this.
That's a great idea, Ryan. Put metal that you're about to heat up with a soldering iron on top of a flammable material. This won't go bad at all.
There we go. We got it out. The only bad thing is I didn't get the solder out with it. But that is terribly corroded. So now we have an empty port. So now we're just gonna get this new one, all new and shiny, into that port, which may be harder than I think, because I didn't take out the previous solder. So now I have to heat it up and get it in. This is the ghetto repair.
It wouldn't have been that hard to make this better, but I was just lazy. So, at this horrendous angle, I tried to heat up the old solder that was on the top of the circuit board and put the battery terminals in the holes from the bottom. Which, after a little heating up, worked surprisingly well.
But for now, I get to show off the brand new. Nice. Alright, I was like, it looks pretty straight. I could angle it in a little more. Whatever. I'll do it one more time.
I didn't have to do this, but I needed to.
This would be a fucking terrible idea. I'm doing this on a Q-tip container.
This is just now coming to your attention. We can skip forward to when this is done.
Hurt myself, but for the greater good, it is now in. Look at that, looks brand new. Alright, so the switch might also be a problem, but we're gonna save that for later. First, I low-key want to see if it'll work. So, we're not gonna put any of the buttons in. We're just gonna have it as the screen and the battery. So, you have to get in the LCD screen. Second thing is that I should have done this beforehand. I should clean the other terminals. So we're going to use isopropyl alcohol.
Now, I probably could have tested everything to make sure that it worked properly, but I was just really excited to see if this thing would turn on.
Yeah, that rust ain't coming off. It's looking better. See that I'm getting it more silvery. Alright, this is turning on still. Also isn't fully on. I don't even know if all the connections are good enough, so I guess I should just go through the rest of the cleaning and see if that will make it better. Also, maybe one of the batteries are dead. I didn't check that. Now I'm taking it apart again. Whatever.
So the disassembly is the same exact as before, but this time I'm going to do a little bit more cleaning of the board as well as all the parts.
Oh, let me put more solder on this while I'm here. Because that's the factory one. That's mine. Do you put a little more solder on that to make it look nice and good. That looks pretty close to factory. There we go. Well, looks a little cleaner. I can see the flux. I do need to clean that off now. But I do need to clean off that a little bit, and then I'll flip to the other side and clean that off too. And I guess it's time for me to take off the switch, which I totally forgot about until right now. Oh, it's just soldered on the top. Interesting. Use my handy old Q-tip cup. You know, something that's full of flammable stuff. There we go. There's the switch cover. Here's the switch. Which honestly looks pretty good in there. So I cleaned all the body pieces except for this because this is the new back. It didn't come with one, so I bought one. But I cleaned all the pieces, including the buttons and the back. I didn't clean up much of the front because I didn't take out the screen. So we're gonna try and get this switch back on and up and running. So
I didn't take a video of it, but I did clean the switch just to make sure that there was a really good connection. The first time that I turned it on, the power light didn't even come on, so there's a pretty good chance that it was because the switch wasn't delivering power.
set the moment of truth. They look a little bit cleaner. Cleaned all the buttons. Ooh, I forgot I was going to clean these screws. Be right back. Alright. Screws are now nice and clean. This is the moment of truth. Alright. Batteries are in. That goes on. Oh.
For $1 million, what did Ryan do wrong? Messed up the soldering. The screen is broken. Didn't connect the screen. Everything is messed up. Is that your final answer? Let's see what it is.
I didn't hook up the
Plug it
screen.
back in?
No, I didn't plug the screen back in. Oh my god, I'm so stupid.
That's right. If you look right about here, you'll see that I forgot to plug in the screen. I was so happy to get it together and mess with the buttons that I completely forgot to plug it in. In those few seconds, my brain went to everything that I did, and I'm really happy that I remembered I didn't plug in that wire, but now I just have to take this whole thing apart again.
Yep.
Got to plug it in.
And I got it stuck underneath. Yeah, I'm gonna have to unscrew this.
Now you're all apart again.
All right, so
Go back.
And after all that, it
you go.
finally turned on.
gotta wait for it to go through the loading screen. But guess what?
It worked.
Yes! Oh my god, that's so cool.
And once the game loaded, I played through it a little bit. Not only to check all the buttons, but because I'm just really excited that this repair actually went successfully. Now, I did end up selling this Game Boy, covering the cost of the parts, the Game Boy, and the screwdriver set, with making a little cash on the side. But that really wasn't what this was about. I really wanted to put what I learned to the test, and actually see if I could repair something. And now that I know I can, I'm gonna do it again in the future. Thank you for watching.